We're here at Emarsys Revolution in London, and I am here with Erin Azar, who's one of my colleagues at Emarsys. So Erin, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for being here at Revolution and for getting up on stage and talking a little bit about some of the things that you're doing in your world of mobile.
Yes.
So first off, what are you thinking about this year's event?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great mix of aspirational and tangible. So I really liked Joe Malone's opening presentation. I think that was fantastic, very emotional. I think it resonated with all of us. We've all been at those points in our career, in our life, where tenacity and grit is the greatest strength that we have. And then I loved that it was wrapped up by a real view of the product, very tangible. And I think the direction of our product is incredibly powerful. So I was excited to let all of our attendees know what the future holds.
What would you say to someone next year thinking about attending?
To me, it's a must-see. I think we all go to events to get energy, to see what's coming, to see really cool things that others are doing, and to dream. I think what we don't want to do, though, is we want to walk away from the event inspired. We don't ever want someone to walk away from the event overwhelmed. And we've hit that great mix of very logical steps that you can walk away and execute right away. The delta between maybe where a company is now and kind of where we talk about where they want to be. I think the presentation from Forrester yesterday was phenomenal.
Yeah,
it talks about where we want to go. It talks about that individualized communication, what is really mattering to customers, and putting that customer as the hero. But sometimes there's a big gap, right? And what am I doing now? Down here in the weeds, I have this to do tomorrow. And I think we've struck a nice balance of what are those incremental steps of getting, of incrementally improving the campaigns I already have, and then still keeping the eye on the goal, eye on the ball of where you want to be, but not feeling overwhelmed by it, seeing a path to that success. I know tomorrow we're going to have a couple conversations with customers. They're going to be really candid, and they're going to share their realities and some of the unique challenges that a mobile-focused company has versus some of the unique challenges that a retail moving more to e-commerce has. And they're two very different set of challenges.
Right.
And we're going to talk through, I know I'll be speaking with Drizzly tomorrow, and they'll be talking about some of their use cases. And they are a little bit of a different situation because they have so much talent in-house that they really just have to decide what they want to build and what they want to use a platform for. And that's really just a strategic trade-off. Do they want to do the data mining themselves and the AI analysis themselves, or do they want to lean on a platform like us to do it? Those are some of the challenges of a mobile-focused company, very different from the challenges of a traditional retailer. Linking offline to online. Those are the challenges that they have to address. So tomorrow's session will be great. So I'll definitely say, I think walking away from that, you'll really have a good feel for what customers are battling and how they're winning those battles.
We've had some big and exciting news here at Revolution. Tell me a little bit from your perspective what that means to you and what this all looks like to you.
So I lead the mobile product lines, as you know, and I think what I find most interesting is, of course, within the mobile product, there's core capabilities and features that we're focused on, and those are very important to anyone who's operating the mobile channel. So those would be things like in-app messaging is a future capability we're building out, inbox, so the ability to send messages and have those preserved, like rich push messages, and have those preserved for a customer to look at later. And then geolocation, another very powerful tool. So those are all very important, especially very important within the mobile product. But what I think is very interesting is when we look at the future of our platform and we talk about tactics and strategic reporting and AI, those are capabilities that I get to plug into. So to me, it's really about taking mobile and elevating it to be part of the omnichannel story. So a real point of differentiation is, I think for companies that have mobile as a focus, it's very easy to kind of go down that mobile path and almost look at it in isolation. And I think it needs to be looked at both ways. I think it's an incredibly important channel, obviously. It's what I hang my hat on, but it needs to be viewed in context of the other channels and in context of what does that omni-channel experience look like? How do I know what is happening in the website is also data that is available in my mobile journey as well. So from my perspective, I'm very excited that I get to kind of do two things at the same time. I get to build out these core capabilities within my mobile product. Simultaneously, I get to tap into and plug into the core capabilities that we are building into the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many exciting things happening right now. And you said one thing that I was going to ask you about, which is omnichannel, and how this all comes together for the marketer. So from our clients' perspectives and other marketers that are out there listening, what do you think that this really all means for them?
What it means is that they are really thinking about that customer experience, that customer journey. Customers have always operated in omnichannel. Right, whether we were addressing it or whether they were addressing it or not. So what we've done is we've created these tools that make it so much easier for the marketer to bring those campaigns to life in that omnichannel reality, and it is easier for them to also coordinate. I think the reality is in marketing teams, a lot of times you have different leadership overseeing different capabilities. So you might have someone heading up email, you may have another person heading up mobile, you may have another person heading up website. So there's a political reality of how am I coordinating all those campaigns, and it really is generally built on internal relationships and hopefully some really good procedures and processes, but it takes time, and that coordination can sometimes be very difficult, especially the granular details like being able to instantly mine data in one channel and leverage that data in another channel, or the personalization that you want to have across channels. So to me, what we're doing with the tools is we are helping that to be that much easier to do, because when you create that personalized token, right? And you say, this is a variable that I want to surface and I want to have it available to all my channels. Well, now we've created the tools to do that. So you don't have to involve a developer. You don't really even have to involve the leadership of all the different channels. Someone can easily create that use case, price drop or abandoned cart or first to second time buyer, create that use case, create those personalization tokens, and then everyone has instant access to that across the different messaging channels. So I think we're just making it that much easier to make that omni-channel story come to life, and speed is the name of the game right now. Absolutely. And simplicity. And so by really making it that much easier for marketers, it's going to be adopted that much faster, and these omni-channel campaigns, which used to be kind of a colossal effort, are just simple to do and instantaneous almost.
Yeah, I love that. And there was a lot of talk about closing the adoption gap and just, again, making it much more simpler for marketers and just much more about the marketer's experience, right? So I love it. So what else can you speak to about the future of marketing? What's something that we talk about a lot on the show about the future of marketing, and something that you might see headed our way that you're either excited about or perhaps even concerned about?
So I think it's very interesting what's happening. Let me talk a little bit about the mobile space. We have some shifts right now. So I think some customers are really evaluating, do I want an app? And what does that app mean to me, especially in the e-commerce space? What does an app mean to me? Am I able to actually get people to install my app and continuously engage with my app? How is that experience going to be different on an app versus on my website? And then in comes progressive web apps, right? So in comes that let's lower that barrier to somebody actually finding an app and installing that app, and have this progressive web app experience. And I think that's something that's very exciting. That's coming. I think that there's going to be some interesting shifts. I think what it will do is, I'm interested in anything that lowers the barrier for marketers to get into a technology that their customers are interested in using. So whether progressive web app is your kind of first step towards the app, or whether it's a shift, maybe you've made the decision that an app is not where my audience wants to continually engage with me, and progressive web apps are the way for me to engage with customers in their mobile environment optimized, but it lowers that barrier to entry.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for being on this program today and for joining me for an interview. Really appreciate it.